After you've done all the hard work to create your master layered file, it'd be nice if there was a way to quickly export a JPEG for the web that would look every bit as amazing as your original work and easily share it wherever you want to go. That is the intent of WebSharp Pro. And in this video, we'll take a look at the quick export settings that allow you one-click simplicity to output to various aspect ratios or social media posts, etc. Before we dive into this though, I do need to go into the settings because this is the first time I've run the panel since installing it. And I need to tell it where to output. So I'm going to select my output folder, and I'm choosing this folder, which just happens to be this one off to the right. I'm also going to increase my default sharpening just to make it easy to see in this video. There are, of course, many other options here, which I'll get into in subsequent videos, but I just want to show you how to get started here. So click on Done, and all I need to do now is choose the output option that I want. This list is fully editable, so if you don't have the options you need when it's installed, you can add your own or even hide the ones you don't want to use. But I'm going to go down and choose Facebook Post. This one is going to be designated for Facebook. When I choose this, the width and height have been set automatically to fit Facebook's requirements. All I need to do is just click on Sharpen. Now, when I've done that, it's saying, hey, the image is a little bit taller than what Facebook wants to look its best. So we're going to go ahead and crop it. When I say OK here, it's showing me the interactive cropping, and I can click and drag to get my desired crop. When it looks good, check to accept it, and it'll complete the export and output it over into this folder to the side, ready to go for Facebook. If I wanted to say output to Instagram, well, I could go down and choose an Instagram landscape, and you see the dimensions have yet again updated, and we could export this image. So just go ahead, click Sharpen. Again, I can choose my crop, and I'm good to go. And now I've got an image for both Facebook, and in a second, I've got the one that I need for Instagram. If we open these up, you notice that it's been converted to our single layer JPEG in sRGB, in the desired dimensions, and sharpened and ready to go. Perfect for each of these platforms. Even though it's a similar crop, they have different dimensional requirements, and sending them in the preferred dimensions will make sure that they look their best on these platforms. Let's close this and look at a few other ways to work even more quickly. So let's say that I don't want to interactively crop and I just want to export very rapidly. In the settings, we can change from crop interactively to automatically crop as needed and say done. Now when I export, it's just going to spit out the result with no cropping. In this case, the name is going to be the same as the one I've already created. And it's just going to ask me if I want to overwrite what I already created or just create a new file. And I can just set it to automatically give me a new file so it doesn't overwrite anything. So I've got a slightly different crop here based on the automatic centered crop. Let's say I also want to go to my website, and I'm going to choose a 4:5 aspect ratio. And now these dimensions are proportionally going to be 4:5. It's by default in a vertical orientation, showing the arrows up and down here. If I just click to rotate, now it's horizontal. We see the width is greater than the height, but I don't want 1350 wide. I actually want 1000 pixels wide. So I'll punch in 1000. And when I tap out of it, it updates the height to match. So it's ready to go in a 5:4 aspect ratio. I'd also like a little bit more control over the sharpening in this image. And so what I'm going to do is not export directly here, but leave the intermediate working file open. So if I hold down the Shift button when I click on Sharpen, it's going to leave the output open for me. And this is going to allow me the ability to control the sharpening. It's telling me what I need to do to finish the image, which in this case, I have a sharpened version on top of a not sharpened version. So I could go, for example, on the layer mask on the sharpened version, hitting B for my brush and just using gray or black paint, tone back the sharpening in areas of water that shouldn't be sharpened. I want them to stay smooth. So just going to knock back a little bit of sharpening where I don't want the sharpening. I could also take the opacity of this layer and just reduce the overall global sharpening to get a slightly more refined look. I think even a little bit less in this case is going to be ideal. When I'm happy with this, you'll notice the sharpen button now says save because I'm on a working document. So when I click save, it exports it over here for me automatically. So very simple way to edit your working image to get the exact sharpening you want and still save to your preferred output folder. You can now close this, and it will ask about saving because it's a JPEG, which didn't save layers, but just say don't save. And we can proceed on with whatever work we want. Now watch this video to learn more about the full capabilities of WebSharp Pro.